Hello, everyone. Welcome again to our season 3. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce Advocate Himanshu Dhandharia, a certified privacy professional and qualified lawyer with over 7 years of experience in data privacy, governance, and compliance. He currently works as an information governance officer at Oxford Brookes University, United Kingdom, and has previously served as an assistant professor of law and technology at UPES Dehradun. Mr. Dhandharia holds an LL.M in Technology, Media and Telecom Law from Queen Mary University of London, as well as an LL.M in Corporate Laws from NLU Jodhpur and an LL.B from the University of Delhi. His unique academic and professional journey from Indian courts and classrooms to the UK's privacy and compliance sector offers rich insights for students aspiring to pursue international legal education and careers abroad. We welcome you, sir.
Hi, Ritu. First of all, I would like to thank you, Pranam and DSLN, for inviting me on your channel to share my views and live experience. And I hope that this experience will inspire budding lawyers to pursue their career in the law. And thank you very much for your kind introduction. Yeah, thank you.
So, to start with, what motivated you to pursue a second LL.M in the United Kingdom, and why did you choose Queen Mary University of London for your specialization in technology, media, and telecom law?
Yeah, thank you, Ritu, for an interesting question. As you know, that I was already teaching cyber laws and data protection laws in the University of Petroleum. And so where I taught various subjects like information security governance and IT evidence, IT forensics, and various other data protection laws of different countries, right? And at that time, I also designed various modules on data protection, right? For which I have researched lots of universities and read about their modules, how they are teaching them, right? And that's where I decided that there is a huge gap in the Indian legal system when it comes to cyber laws or data protection laws or AI laws, right? So I decided that it's time that I should have a proper formal education in the data protection laws or AI laws. So I decided that I should pursue my second master's in this field. And then after that, when I was deciding it, COVID happened, right? And during that time, I made the most of my time by reading extensively about the data protection laws of different jurisdiction, right? And during that time, there was ongoing debates about adopting a new data framework regarding AI and both
Right.
protection laws in India. So I thought that if I do my master's now, I will be in a better position. Once these laws are being implemented in India, if I come back to India, I can contribute better in this field, right? And I can help the government maybe to formulate or improve these laws. So I decided that I should pursue my second master's, right? And so now the second question, that from where I should pursue my second master's. So I have shortlisted 10 universities which were offering best course module on the data protection laws, right? So I haven't shortlisted US because the education is
Yes.
expensive there, and then there are different laws in the US. So I removed US from my list and Canada from my list, right? So I focused in the European market, right? So then I have shortlisted University of Oslo, various universities in Netherlands and the UK, obviously, because English
Yes,
is,
reciprocity. Yeah.
yeah. So because of the language thing, right? And so I shortlisted 10 universities, and then I applied there, and fortunately I got offer from most of the universities, right, where I have applied. But Queen Mary being in the London, right? So I thought that you'll get the access to the job market there,
Hmm.
and opportunity to network with the people and the industry experts. And since obviously Queen Mary Law has a huge reputation in the data protection, uh, in the data pro- in the
Yeah, in
data
the data
protection
protection, right.
field, yeah. And there are really good professors there. So I thought that it's better to do the masters from Queen Mary, and because of its location, yeah. So I decided to come to London.
Right. And could you explain to our viewers what this CIPPE program is and why did you choose to pursue it after your LLM in the UK?
Yeah, so since we were doing masters in the data protection laws, so our university had a collaboration with IAPP, International Association of Privacy Professionals, right? So
Okay.
they were giving discounted membership and the certification to all those students who are doing their masters, right? So we got a discount of like 50%, and for this we paid around 250 pounds, but not normally if you go for the certification it will cost you around 500 to 700 pounds, right? So we got a discount. So and yeah, and this is it's a certification, right? It's not a program, it's a certification, right?
Oh.
So once you have the relevant knowledge of the GDPR, you can complete the certification. It's like a validation of your knowledge, right?
Oh.
Because you will get a validation from the international organization, and this is really helpful in getting the job. Once you apply for the job, and then and there is a there is a mention of CIPP certification in your CV, it adds huge
It
points.
enhances. All right.
Yeah, it enhances your CV, so you get a edge in the job market.
So could you walk us through the application process from selecting your course to preparing your statement of purpose and securing admission at the Queen Mary University of London?
Yeah, so so when you try when you start applying for these courses for your masters, you should be very clear in which course you want to apply, right? So in my case, since
Mm.
I have a diverse background, and I have an engineering background, and I was also teaching these laws at the university. So in my case, it was really clear that I want to pursue my master's in the technology laws or the data protection laws, right? And for this, I have shortlisted 10 university 10 best universities where the course curriculum is robust and is most relevant, right? So I on that basis I have shortlisted the university, right? And once you have shortlisted the university, it is really important that you apply as early as possible. Once you get the notification that these universities are inviting for the
Mm.
application, you should apply in, let's say, in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? Because what happens in most of these universities, if they get enough application, they close their admission, the application
Oh.
process, right? So that's why it's really important that you apply as early as possible, right? So once you have identified the universities and you are in a process of applying there, the first step is to write an SOP is the statement of purpose, and
Right.
every university has their own style of writing the SOPs, right? And but yeah, so the requirement is same everywhere, right? So most of these universities
Mm.
will ask for maximum 1 page or 1.5 page SOP, right? So in the SOP, you should highlight your academic background, your achievement in the field, right? In where you are applying, right? In so what you
Mm.
have done in the data protection, right? If you have done any project, any seminar, presented paper, so you should highlight that, yeah, all the achievements. And
Right.
then also highlight what you will contribute to their research institute, right? So that is important. And also research about the university, and you can also highlight their department. Like I have highlighted the data protection department of Queen Mary, University of Oslo, and several other universities where I was applying. So I have highlighted their department, write the name of professors, right? Where you were with whom you want to work with in future, right? If you get
Mhm.
selected, so you can highlight that thing. And finally, what motivates you to join their research institution, so you should highlight all these 4 points in an SOP. And then once you are through with the SOP, then comes the letter of recommendation, right? So in my case,
Mhm.
because of my interdisciplinary background or diverse background, I took one recommendation letter from my engineering professor, where I have highlighted that I have done a project on biometrics and the ethical application and the legal application of biometrics technologies.
Mhm.
And then I took one recommendation letter from my professor in Delhi University, right? So yeah, so you require one SOP, obviously, and then at least two letter of recommendation. Once you are through with the letter of recommendation, you have obtained it, then comes the IELTS requirement, right? So in IELTS, the requirement is 6.5, that in academic IELTS you should score at least 6.5, which is easy, you can do it easily. But in my case, since I obtained my master's in English, and
Oh,
I was already teaching law in English. So I got a letter from my registrar and sent to these universities. So I get a waiver from this IELTS
oh.
examination. And yeah, you can also do that. But yeah, you need to send a letter to the university from your home institution. So yeah, so there is an IELTS requirement. And yeah, so once you get the offer letter from the university, then you decide that where you want to actually go based on pros and cons of every jurisdiction, right? So because I didn't go to
Hmm.
Netherlands because of the language requirement, and then the important thing to keep in mind is the post-study work visa you get. Like in Netherlands, you get it from for I think 1 year, and in Norway, I was getting a PSW for I think 2 years, but then again, the language requirement. So in most of the European countries, they have their own language requirement. And when you enter into a legal requirement, they do not practice in English, right? So they have their own language. All the
Hmm.
documents are in their language. So I preferred that I'll go for the UK, right? Because of the English. And then yeah, and UK was offering at that time 2 year of work visa. So I decided that
Hmm.
I'll go to UK. And then in UK, I got offer from University of Edinburgh, Queen Mary, and and there was two other universities as well, Manchester and I think Reading. But uh, I got an offer letter from Edinburgh in the from Edinburgh University in their third list, and by that time I had already paid my fee in the Queen Mary. And since I thought that I'll be based in London, I'll get an I get a chance to meet new people and get an access to the international, I mean, the really exciting job market of London. So I thought it's better to to be in London and go with the Queen Mary University. And that's how I decided that I'll go for the, Queen Mary University. Yeah.
Right. Sir, what was the structure of your LLM program, the core and elective subjects, the method of assessment, and how different was it from the legal education in India?
Yeah, so we had a trimester, right? So and then we had core modules which were of 30 credits, and then there were electives or seminar paper which were of 15 credits, and then we had a dissertation of 60 credits. And I think we have to achieve I at least 180 credits, right? So if I'm not wrong, yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, 180 credits we have to complete. And in my case, I have designed my module by taking all the data protection subjects, right? So my master's was in TMT, Technology, Media, and Telecommunication Law, right? So I restricted myself to the technology laws. So I have selected all the modules related to the data protection laws plus artificial intelligence module, right? And then I didn't take the dissertation because since our course was a specialized course, so they gave us the option whether you want to do the write a dissertation or not. So in my case, I didn't take the dissertation, and I thought that since I have already done my first master's and I have written my dissertation there, so it's of no use writing a dissertation again. So I decided to take more subjects, right? So I read about AI, artificial intelligence, and its ethical considerations. And yeah, so yeah, AI and data protection law. So I have mainly restricted myself to these laws. And now in the UK, so the lecture is of 3 hours, right? And and in that time, so if I give you my example, how I used to teach in India, right? So we had a 1 hour lecture where I used to try everything to make my students understand the concept, in a proper manner. So I can say that we used to do the spoon feeding, right? But here, when you come here, there is no spoon feeding. So in the 3 hour class, they'll give you the overview of their topic, and then they will give you the assignments, right? So like
Oh.
uh, they will ask you to write the research paper, ask you to present the case, and they'll give you the practical assignments, and then they will invite the industry experts, and those industry experts will have a discussion with you and give you the practical assignments, right? So this is the stark difference between the Indian system and the systems outside the India, right? And then they emphasize more on the critical thinking, right? But in India, our system is an
Mm.
exam based,
Yes.
exam based system, exam based legal education. But yeah, here they will encourage you to write critical assignments, right? And
Mm.
yeah, so that's the difference between both the jurisdiction.
Right. And since you mentioned earlier that, the universities in UK and surrounding European nations wherein you get scholarships and even, at a free of cost courses and all. So how much approximately did your LLM cost in terms of tuition fees and living expense? And what should, future students have a realistic budget for if they're expecting their stay in London?
Yeah, so in my case, I have self-funded my masters, and then but yeah, I have paid around 26,000 pounds as my fee, because they charge huge amount of fee from the international students, right? So in my case, I paid
Oh.
26,000 pounds, which is around 26 to 27 or 28 lakhs, right, in Indian in INR. But yeah, so and every year they increase their fees, right? So yeah, so first, the first requirement that you pay the fees, right, to the university, and then second requirement that you have to show the extra funds to the UK government, that you have funds to cover your stay,
Oh.
right? And currently there is requirement of 15,000 pounds per month, so you can multiply 15,000 pounds into 9 months or 10 months. So that's the extra amount you have to show to the UK government, right, to cover your living expenses. Now, now practically, if you live in London for 1 month, you must be you require at least 13,000 to 14,000 pounds, right? But then it depends upon where do you live. So if you live in central London, which is zone 1, it is expensive, right? But then your travel gets reduced, right? You do not have to pay any money for the travel. You can walk to the universities, or in case you can take the
Mm.
bus, which is like uh, uh, if I'm not yeah, if I remember, £1 per trip, right? So yeah, your travel expense get reduced. But if you go outside zone 1 or go to zone 3 or 4, then your travel expenses increases, right? So I would suggest that if you're planning to come to London, you should have at least uh, 13 13 to 14,000 pounds per month you require, and then you should stay in zone 2 or zone 3, so that your living expenses and travel expenses are well within your budget, right? And yeah, so and when you come to UK, so there are so many places where you get the student discount. So that's the another important thing. Yeah, you should remember that most of the places they offer student discounts. So you should make sure that you avail these discounts, right? So these are the practical challenge you face as a student in London. But yeah, London is expensive, so you need to prepare your budget and
Mm.
expenses in advance.
Sir, how diverse was the student community there, and how important is networking while studying abroad, especially in the field of law?
Yeah, so yeah, where in my class there were many students from South Asia, Europe, or Africa, or other parts of the world. And then, when you interact with these students, this multicultural environment opens your eye to many different viewpoints in the legal practice, and which helps you in learning more about the diverse legal system in the world, right? And then when you come to a different jurisdiction to pursue your masters, right? So you are
Mm.
on your own, and that's where the networking becomes important, right? Because if you are in India, different people, you can get your
Right.
job done, you can get into legal market easily because you know people there, right? But
Mm.
when you go outside your country, every man is for himself, right? So that's why the
So,
networking becomes really important. You need to interact with people, you need to interact with your classmates, make friends and go out with them and learn new things. And also you can do the networking through LinkedIn, reach the industry experts,
mm,
ask questions from them, how to improve your CV, what opportunities you can get in the specific industry. And you can also go out for a coffee, right? And once you that small meeting, right, will have a huge impact, right? So, and because of that, you might get an internship, or they might refer you for your next job interview. So that's why,
mm,
networking is really important. And most importantly, through networking, you learn valuable soft skills, like
mm.
cross-cultural communication, teamwork, and adaptability. So that's why networking is really important as an outsider, right?
It really broadens one's horizons, and it's important when you stay outside, rightly said.
Yeah.
Right. And since you mentioned, your budget, were part-time work opportunities available for law students? And do you think it's feasible to work alongside studies?
Yeah, so legally speaking, if you are on a student visa, you are allowed to do 20 hours per week, right? And then you have to go to you can apply for many part-time jobs here. Like you can work in retail, you can work in restaurants. There are so many opportunities, right? And you can also look for the university jobs as well, like library services. And then you can also do the small research projects, right? So but in my case, I applied for the library services jobs, right? Part-time jobs where you are allowed to do 20 hours per week. And then because of my academic background, I got various opportunities in the research projects, right, for data collection purposes
Mm,
and for data analysis, right? So I did that. And then you get paid something around, it depends upon the job, but the minimum wage in the UK is I think 12 hours to 12 pounds per hour, right? So yeah, so if you work
oh,
in the retail or any other sector, you'll get at least 12 hours, 12 pound per hours, right?
mm,
And then you can do 20 hours, 20 hours. But yeah, so depending upon the role, like I did the academic research role. So
mm,
I used to get 16 to 17 pounds per hour, right? And yeah, so it's really important. I mean, if you get an opportunity to do the part-time, it really helps. It gives, you can cover your living expenses, plus
right.
you get an opportunity to integrate into society. And you learn how to communicate with the different peoples, right? So yeah, so it gives you an exposure to do, if you do the part-time job, and at the same time you can cover your living expenses. But yeah, please make sure that you do 20 hours. If you do more than that, your study
Mm.
visa would be suspended by the government. And then some people do cash in hand jobs. Let me tell you, it's illegal
Oh,
for cash in hand jobs. Many people do it, and then their visa is suspended by the government and they are deported to India. So yeah, so it's really important that whatever you do it in a
mm.
proper legal manner, right? Only good for 20 years. That's
For
it.
your
Yeah.
own
So
safety also.
exactly. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So after completing your LLM, how did you transition into the UK legal and compliance job market? What were your first steps?
Thank you, Ritu. This question is really close to my heart. If I tell you, UK job market is really difficult, right? There are so many. It has a best pool of talent, right, in the world, right?
Mm,
And it's not easy to crack the UK job market,
mm,
especially in the legal field, where you are competing with the locals, right? And yeah, so whenever once you are here, and you need to decide whether you want to go back to India after doing your masters, or you want to stay
mm,
here and explore the career, right? New opportunities in your legal career, right? So if you have decided to stay the UK, you should apply for the postgraduate work visa, and after
Mm.
that, yeah, so that's the first step, right? So in my case, my exam, I my exam finished in August, and from August 2023 to January 2024, I did nothing. I was just chilling. I went to India. I went to different places. I did nothing, right? And when I came back to UK
Mm.
in at the end of the January, right? So from there onwards, I started to apply for the jobs, and that time I have realized that I have made a huge mistake, right? Because
Mm.
uh, this gap made it harder to find roles quickly, right? And my CV was not tailored to the UK job requirement. And
Right.
then by that time, I haven't cleared my CIPP certification. So from February onwards, I focused
Mm.
on clearing my certification, CIPP certification, and then I applied for at least so yeah, so you need to apply for at least 20 to 30 jobs per day if you are really serious to get a job in the UK, right? So I used to apply for 20 to 30 jobs per day. But yeah, so that was not fruitful because I was not, despite having a right credentials in my
Mm.
CV, I was not able to get the interview call. So I decided to talk to the recruiters. I had a discussion with the recruiters and the industry experts, and they all have advised me same thing, that networking is really important if you want to get a job here. So whenever
Right.
you are applying for a job, send a message to the recruiter. Hi, I'm so and so. I have this year of relevant experience. Let's have, if you can give me a time to have a discussion, right? So that's how you network. So yeah, so I they advise me they advise me to network and then tailor your CV according to the UK standards, right? So you
Mm.
have to, wherever you are applying, you need to tailor your CV according to their job requirements.
Right.
What mistake I was doing, that I have created a single CV, single template, and I was applying through the
Forwarding
same
it to
CV.
everyone.
Yeah, but then again, you need to tailor your CV
Mm.
for every job. Yeah, so once I learned all these things, so I applied rigorously, and then I got uh, I have given at least 10 to 15 interviews, and yeah, so finally I got lucky and got a job at Oxford Brookes University as a governance officer. But yeah, so job market is really tough. You need to be on
Mm.
your toes. You have to be consistent in applying, and then you need to tailor your CV. And the most important thing, in the UK, they use AI to shortlist the CV. So you need to use the
Oh.
right keywords, right, to get your CV selected. So that's the challenge you will face if you planning to enter into the UK job market. But yeah, once you do all these things, do your homework, then yeah, you will get the job. Then the third thing is, if the company is ready to give you the job, then they will ask you on which visa you are, right? So
Ah.
you will see that you are on a graduate visa. They will ask you that what will happen once your visa will expire, right? So most of the companies, they do not sponsor, right? So
Oh.
yeah, but yeah, the requirement is, if they will like you, they will sponsor you.
They will
But yeah, you
sponsor.
do your best in the interview. Yeah, so that's how the job is. That's how you get a job in the UK. Yeah.
Right. And now that you're finally, an information governance officer, can you describe your current role as an information governance officer at Oxford Brookes University, and what does a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting role. This role keeps me on my toes, right?
Mm.
So, being an information governance officer, we deal with lots of FOIs, freedom of information request. Like in India, we have RTI, the same concept.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, so we have freedom of information request here, and then we get lots of data subject access request, and then I review the contracts specifically in regard to the data protection clauses, right? Because there are so many research going on, and data is being transferred from one country to another. Like it is going to the non-adequacy status countries. Like non-adequacy means that those countries where the data protection regulations are not adequate. For that example, India or other South Asian countries or Australia for that matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to draft the contract according to the UK GDPR standards, right? So I review the contract, I
Mm-hmm.
draft the contract, and then I advise the stakeholders how to design a privacy program, what best
Oh,
policies we can incorporate to keep our data safe, and then I also work with the professors to see the research to to scrutinize their research projects, whether the all the UK GDPR requirements are being followed or not, because huge
mm-hmm.
amount of data collection is involved in their
Right.
study. So it's important to keep their data safe and according to the UK GDPR requirements or standards, right? So this is my typical day looks like as an information governance officer with huge amount of challenges, right?
Sir, since you mentioned about the competition there also with respect to the job market, and in India also we see that. So we've noticed that despite a huge number of Indian law graduates flocking to the UK to pursue their LL.M masters, quite a few return with complaints of very few career opportunities. Is there any truth to this? Or, and if yes, what could be the possible reason for the same? What mindset should one have before investing in an overseas degree?
Yeah, thank you, Ritu. This is a really important question. But yeah, so in India, if you have a good academic background, if you have graduated from a good university, your half job is done, right? You get an interview and you have to just give the answers properly. Your job is done. But then when it comes to the UK job market, it is a skill-based market, right? So there are many students here who have degree from the prestigious universities, but they do not get the job. Why? Because they do not
Mhm.
have the relevant work experience in their CV. So if you are planning to do your masters in the UK, so you need to understand that this masters is not a pathway, or it will not guarantee you a
Mm,
job in the
right.
UK. You need to justify that thing with your work experience. So I would suggest that if you're planning to come here, then you should have at least 2 to 3 relevant work experience in your field, right? And then the second thing, you after you have the work experience, you please do your research properly. What course you want to do, what course you want to pursue, and what are the opportunities after that, right? So I'm
Mm,
not saying that any course is bad or is good, but if you do your masters in, let's say, in public law, right, so there will be less opportunities as compared to corporate commercials, corporate commercial
mm,
laws, arbitration law, and or for that matter, technology laws, right? So you need to choose your course properly, and you
mm,
need to keep in mind that what are the job opportunities are available after you complete your course. And then if you are in India, do the certification, or achieve all the things, right, before coming to the UK or to any other part, right? Attain all those things whenever when you are still in India, and then start networking with the people from India itself, right? So once you come here, you do not have to
invest
study
that
for
much
the
time. Right.
certification, yeah, invest that much time, right? So yeah, so it's better, you have a clear idea what you are going to do, how you are going to
Mm,
do. And yeah, so if you have all the boxes ticked, you might get a job here if you are lucky, right? But then yeah, it's a job, it's a really competitive market, and then luck plays really important factor here, right? So that's
right. Your skill and your luck plays an important role in UK. Here, skill and jugaad also works at the same time. So we hear about a lot of protests with regard to immigration in the UK and other major economies of the West. Currently, the environment is such. We hear about incidents of racism and violence against immigrants too. What is your experience and viewpoint on this issue? What advice would you give to a student or professional traveling to the UK?
No, when I came here, there were quite a few protests going on at that time, and recently I've seen so many protests. But then yeah, so by my if I talk about my experience, I haven't faced any kind of racism, both at the both as a student or as a professional, right? So all the
Good for you.
organizations have their specific policy about diversity and inclusion, but still if you face any kind of these things, then you should reach out to the authorities. They are really considerate here. And then yeah, so but then yeah, when you come here, it's really important that you respect the local norms, make friends, go out. And if
Right.
you encounter any negative behavior, don't be afraid to report to the authorities. Here authorities are really proactive, and they really help you, right? And
Mm.
then the most important thing is you stay confident, informed, and resilient. That's the way forward.
Right. And what would your advice be to law students who wish to specialize in privacy or technology law? How can they start preparing while still in India?
Yeah, so if you want to make a career in the technology law, first of all, I will advise you to have a work experience in India. You should work in India for at least 2 3 years in the specific industry. Like there are many jobs related to data privacy analyst, and many big companies in India offer these roles, like American Express or different
Mm.
various other IT companies, right? They offer this position in India where you can manage their data protection compliance. So once you have this experience, you should, in my opinion, you should try to achieve your try to get a solicitor license while you are still in India. So there are
Mm.
two exams. I mean, FLK1 and FLK2. If you have a work experience in India, you'll get a waiver for FLK2 exam, right? And then you have to only appear for FLK1 exam, right? So if you get a solicitor license in India and then you come to the UK, you'll get more job opportunities in the UK, right? So it's better
Oh.
you should have a work experience along with solicitor license. And then yeah, you can also do various kind of other certifications like CIPP,
Mm.
Certified Information Privacy Professional Europe, and then the same exam is offered in different jurisdiction as well, like CIPP US, Asia, and Australia, I guess. And then there is another certification, CIPM, Certified Information Privacy Manager, and then there is also one certification called AIGP. So if you have achieved all these things, certification, you have solicitor license, you have work experience, you will get huge amount of opportunities once you come to the UK. Yeah, so
It makes your job
prepare in
easier
the
here.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So, lastly, what lessons have you learned from your own journey that you wish that someone would have told you when you were starting out?
Yeah, so I have learned four things, right? So first is I've already discussed it, that whenever you plan to pursue your master's, choose your course wisely. Do a thorough research, right? Do not fall into trap of all these consultants and all, right? That you can
Mm.
do this, you get this opportunity. No,
Yeah.
do your own research. Choose your course wisely, and then once you have decided the course, then you should start networking from India, from when you are still in India. Reach the industry experts in the UK. Suppose if you want to come to UK, reach the industry experts, have a normal regular conversation with them. What kind of market is
Mm.
what kind of market is in the UK? You should ask such questions from them. So the point is, you should start networking when you are still in India, and then you should do the job. You should do the thorough research of the job market, right? That what are the opportunities available after completing your course, right? In which sectors you can get a job. So
Mm.
if I take my example, I have done my TMT, and then you get the job opportunities in the private sector, right? So there are many opportunities for data protection analyst, data privacy analyst. And then if you talk about the public sector, you get the opportunity it's like information governance officer, information governance lead, and then freedom of information officer, information management roles, right? So these are the opportunities you get. So you need to do your research properly, that what are the opportunities after pursuing that course. And finally, the most important thing is that when you reach when you come to abroad, time passes really, quickly. You will not realize that, oh my god, the time has already been, it's
Oh,
yeah, so just time passes really quickly, so you
but
need to
does
make
it
the most.
really tire you out, or is it like it's like a experienced tiresome?
No, I mean, yeah, so it gives you a lot of opportunity to understand yourself. You learn new things, you meet new people. So the point is, you should make the most of it. Stay
Mm.
focused on your goal. Always remember why you come here, because there are many opportunities, there are many things which will distract you, right? So it's important that you remain focused on your goal and make the most of your time. Meet new people, go to world best libraries, go to museums, learn new things, get the new perspective, network with people. And yeah, that's how, the life is in the abroad. Yeah.
Great. With that, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Dhandharia sir, for sharing your insights and experience so openly and candidly. Your journey shows how law graduates can adapt, evolve, and succeed internationally by combining strong academic foundations with specialized, future-oriented skills in privacy and technology laws. Sir, thank you. You've been incredibly kind and generous with your time and guidance here today. We really appreciate it, and thank you so much, and all the very best for your journey there.
Thank you, Ritu, for conducting this conversation. And I would like to thank Pranam as well. And hopefully, this conversation will make a difference in the life of the upcoming
Definitely.
legal professionals, right? Yeah. Thank you very
Definitely,
much.
sir. Thank you, sir.